Obando. A town just north of the Philippine capital, Manila. Devoutly Catholic, but also steeped in tradition. Every year, in the month of May, locals honor their patron saints with a dancing procession that's almost paganistic. It's believed to bless childless couples with fertility.
Malaking pananampalataya ko namin kasi base sa mga nababasa ko saka yung nalalaman ko sa media na isa nga siya sa magbibigay ng miracle para magka-baby yung mga mag-asawang matagal nang naghihintay ng biyaya.
Actually, last year, na-bless din kami. Nagkaroon after 4 years of marriage, nagkaroon siya ng baby. Yun nga lang, nagkaroon ng miscarriage. After ng pagsayaw, nagkaroon. So, yeah, naniniwala kami na this year would be different.
For these faithful couples, traveling in from other cities to dance under the sweltering heat are but small sacrifices. In fact, many of them are doing more than just entrusting their childbearing fortunes to the heavens.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Assignment Asia. I'm Barnaby Lo. How far would you go to have children? If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you I'd be willing to dance at every religious festival. Now, according to the Maternal Health Task Force at Harvard University, globally, at least 50 million couples suffer infertility. Some of them believe in the power of their faith, but more and more are also putting faith in science.
Penetration assay and the spindle position facing. And the last
At a posh hotel in Manila's financial district, a room full of childless couples listened quietly and intently. A delegation of health professionals had come all the way from Taiwan to offer hope. An opportunity these Filipino couples couldn't pass up. Among the crowd were Marlon and Cherry Reyes. Unlike other participants there, however, they had already made up their minds. They were Taiwan bound. Cherry had, as a matter of fact, started taking medications prescribed by doctors.
So first month, yung mga gamot? Yes, ito yung mga gamot. Medyo, hindi na siya madami kasi bawas na siya eh. Halos malapit na kami mag 1 month na umiinom. Ay, marami pa pala sa loob ng...
Sa ref?
Oo.
Tingin nga. Gano'ng kadami? Kasi ang dami nakalista eh, oh.
Okay. Nandito sa ilalim. Sorry.
Ay, oo nga, ang dami nga.
Oo eh, di ba?
Pero, talagang gagawin nyo.
Siyempre, kailangan kasi... Ano na, nandito na tayo, kailangan dire-diretso na.
It's not that Cherry and Marlon are childless. They had a child soon after they were married. But after the birth of their first child, Marlon had to work overseas. So bearing another child was a bit of a challenge.
6 months na siya nung buntis, umalis ako. Actually, hinatid pa niya ako sa airport eh. Tapos yung medyo... Ayoko lang
Teary-eyed pa.
Teary-eyed pa. Ayoko pumunta sa immigration kasi yung nga, malaki yung tiyan niya. Ganun. Ano yung feeling ganun. Tapos, yun na yung huli kong pagano sa kanya. Tapos, umuwi ako after 2 years.
Despite being reunited, they made a conscious decision to wait, following their gynecologist's advice, and especially after they noticed that their daughter Chacha's development was behind.
Siguro magtuto siya, medyo may weird feeling lang ako kasi yung mga ka-age niya nagsasalita na, may eye contact na ganun. sa kanya, parang ang hirap niyang hulihin yung mata niya. So, nagtry kaming kumonsult ng developmental pediatrician.
Tapos yun, kinonfirm niya na meron siyang mild spectrum disorder. Yung, mild lang naman, hindi naman siguro severe na So, makukulit pa naman daw yung through therapy, ganyan, tsaka sped school.
It was clear to them that meant their complete and undivided attention on their daughter.
Lahat ng time namin, mostly na-spend namin sa kanya.
Oo.
Wala na yung time namin para sa sarili as individual and as couple. Parang
Nabawasan siya talaga.
Lahat sa kanya talaga naka-center. Pati sila, yung mga mother, father niya, mga tita niya, sa kanya din lahat. So, sobrang siya.
Team effort.
Team effort talaga.
Having seen the amount of support Chacha needs, a second child became not just an aspiration, but a necessity for them.
Yun talaga yung pinaka-reason namin dahil sa kanya. Gusto namin siya magkaroon ng kapatid para pagdating ng panahon, pag wala na kami, meron siyang kasama.
Kasi sino mong mag-ano sa kanya pag wala na kami? Wala, hindi naman siya bibigyan ng kapatid.
What Marlon and Cherry, now in her late 30s, didn't expect was how difficult it would be for them to conceive this time around.
Siguro malaking factor din talaga yung age. Kasi feeling ko, kung nag-babies ako nang hindi pa ako nagla-line of 3, siguro hindi kami magkakaroon ng ganitong problema. Kasi parang feeling ko nag-start yung mga, nag-block yung fallopian tube ko. Parang malaking factor talaga yung age.
After a year of trying naturally, they turned to IUI, or intrauterine insemination, a type of fertility treatment that involves injecting sperm into a woman's uterus. It didn't work. But IVF, or in-vitro fertilization, a procedure that would involve, quite literally, producing their offspring in a lab, had always been an option at the back of their minds. Marlon and Cherry had heard about the success of Taiwan's IVF treatments. It was going to cost them a bit of a fortune and time away from Chacha. But time wasn't on their side. It was a no-brainer. 7 years after they had their first child, they were determined to have another. And the baby was going to be made in Taiwan. On this visit to Lee Women's Hospital, Cherry and Marlon's second, Cherry's eggs are scheduled for retrieval. But they were far from being the only patients there. Yang Huo and Huang Li are from the Chinese mainland.
What difficulties have you had trying to conceive a child?
我们比较迟结婚嘛，那也有想自然受孕，但是就是这个没有成功。那因为原因也有查，可能跟年龄有关系，可能跟我自身的年龄有关系。
Do you feel lucky you're living in an age where there's this technology that you can avail?
因为我每一次觉得自己很幸运，因为像宫廷里头的那个嫔妃啊，想要孩子，但多么困难，但是他们生活在这个年代都不是问题了。
这本来就是个很好的事情，很幸福的，是我们人类的一大进步，对，
Modern IVF technology offers more than just a glimmer of hope. Dr. Li Maosheng, the founder of this hospital, says he's helped thousands of couples get pregnant in over 3 decades of specializing in assisted reproductive technology.
We can avoid to damage to the egg chromosome, so it can high quench rate. So it's product one. And the second, we set up the standard IVF lab I think we will see that after is merely standard and spend a lot of money about the build is the international standard laboratory.
Yeah.
So you can the embryo stay there, it can grow well, and also we see use a timeless culture system is high pregnancy rate in the world.
If I'm being honest though, all the discussion on modern medicine was a little too much for my non-scientific mind. So Dr. Lee offered to take us on a tour around basically where magic happens.
So all here is the embryo bank.
How many?
Study.
How many here?
About, I think now we have the 2,000 more.
2,000?
Yeah, 2,000 more embryo here. Yeah.
Wow.
Each contain about the 200 more. 200 more embryo here. Yeah.
But they're separate, right? For
yeah,
each,
it's separated. Each one,
right?
each couple is separated.
Would you say that there's life already?
Yeah, now it's live. It's live, but it's the frozen.
Yeah.
They're alive, but will they thrive? The secret, Dr. Lee says, is to wait to get 5-day-old embryos before transferring them into a mother's womb.
Yeah. This early stage.
That's the embryo?
Yeah, embryo. Okay. Now it's the day 3 embryo. Now it's become.
Oh, they're multiplying.
Yeah. This is day 5 embryo.
Wow.
This is the development. The embryo continues development.
The same thing happens when it's a natural pregnancy, right?
Yes. The temperature now.
IVF technology has advanced to a point where it's become more accessible, in every sense of the word, to couples who want and need it. It's offered in more places and at generally lower prices than in the recent past. Taiwan is widely considered to be an industry leader.
I think the stable results, the good results, is very important. In the literature, and our success rate is, above the average.
But why is that?
I think maybe it's very hardworking for the doctors and the technician, and also many very good doctors. Technology, I think, is depends on how hard work in the lab the control. So our lab technicians have very well trained.
Despite its size, Taiwan has 85 IVF centers. Thailand, 14 times the size of the island, has 40. Lee Women's Hospital is the biggest and one of the most reputable. And for Cherry and Marlon, the one that made most sense in terms of cost and distance.
So we've been following Cherry and Marlon's IVF journey from the Philippines to Taiwan, and we've followed almost every step of their way, but they've asked us not to go into the operating room with them, and we of course value their privacy, but today is one of the most important days for them because Cherry's eggs are going to be retrieved by the doctors, and so far the signs are good because they've seen 12 viable eggs.
Despite high hopes, however, Cherry and Marlon are being cautiously optimistic. They've had their fair share of failures and didn't want to set themselves up for disappointment. Will they leave Taiwan with hopeful or heavy hearts? That's next on Assignment Asia.
Stories of hope, triumph, innovation, and change. We uncover the truth and go great lengths to tell a story. Get to know ordinary people with extraordinary stories and see Asia from an Asian perspective. This is Assignment Asia. Expect the unexpected.
With another round of IVF procedures over, Cherry and Marlon are down to one last business on this trip to Taiwan. Despite following doctor's orders to the T, things didn't turn out exactly as they had hoped. So now they feel they need a little divine intervention.
This couple, yeah, I think is because high age, advanced age. So I tell them 20% is a normal chromosome or embryo, 80% is abnormal. You want to born the genetic normal baby, we will do the PGS for embryo, so can transfer for the next cycle, can avoid the Down syndrome baby and the other chromosome anomaly.
Dr. Lee isn't convinced they've harvested enough of Cherry's eggs to ensure that there be adequate embryos with normal chromosomes guaranteed for implantation.
Ngayon, hindi namin alam kung ilan ang mabubuo sa kanila.
Okay.
Then, after pa niyang mabuo, hindi pa sure doon kung yung mga embryos na nabuo ay papasa sa PGS nila.
Kumbaga parang naninigurado lang.
Yes. Oo, kaya babalik kami next month for another cycle of egg retrieval.
Okay. Okay lang.
Okay lang.
Okay. Positive lang tayo.
A return trip and another round of egg retrieval could set them back $4,000 to $5,000. Despite mounting expenses though, they were determined to keep going. When I met Henry and Irene Chua, they had what one might describe the perfect home. It had been 4 months since they were blessed with their first child, Amare. They had extended family over. It was something they'd been doing every month since their son's birth. Anyone who knew what they'd been through, however, would understand why there's so much to celebrate. They had waited 6 years for Amare.
Dati, mahilig kami gumimik. Kahit weekdays, gumigimik kami. Tapos, napansin na lang namin yung mga iba naming friends, hindi na namin mayaya. Kasi may anak na. Doon ako parang feeling ko na, parang ano na, may anak na sila, tayo, nalileft out na ata tayo ah. So, doon kami nag-start magpa-check up sa doktor kasi nagtataka kami, ba't di kami makabuo? Hindi naman kami nagpipigil o ano. Tapos, doon nga namin nalaman na may problema pala.
Initially, doctors pointed to low sperm count on the part of Henry as being the culprit. He underwent treatment, and they tried conceiving through IUI, but their efforts were unsuccessful.
Nag-IUI kami, after ilang weeks, nag-delay siya. So medyo excited kami. Tapos merong unfortunate na nangyari. Pinasok kami ng mga magnanakaw. So 5 armadong lalaki. Tinali kami, kinuha lahat ng gamit namin. The next day, bumagyo naman habang nasa mall kami. 4 days kami hindi nakauwi.
Dapat may check up ako nung araw na yun na nagbagyo.
I-check na kung positive.
Nag-i-spotting na ako. So parang kala ko, spotting kasi di ba pag magbuntis, di ba nag-spotting? So kala ko spotting, nagtuloy-tuloy na.
Natabunan yung lungkot namin tsaka yung trauma namin dun sa nangyaring knockout tsaka yung na flood. Kasi parang start na naman, ano ba talaga problem. So parang hindi na namin alam kung ano next step namin.
This time around, they decided to let nature take its course again. 4 years later, nothing. It was time to turn to science once more. Especially as their gynecologist at the time had discovered Irene had other reproductive health issues. The only recourse was IVF. They'd heard about better chances in Taiwan, so off they went. Weeks later, Irene was pregnant. That's what the initial test showed at least.
Nag-announce ako sa Facebook, syempre sobrang excited, ganyan. Di, eto na. Sabi ni doktor, ito na yung pinaka-isa sa parang hindi namin talaga malilimutan sa sobrang sakit na nangyari. Sabi niya, may problema tong itlog na to. Wala to. Parang ano to, bugok. Yung itlog bugok, walang laman.
In other words, a baby never developed. Irene had what's called a blighted ovum, a leading cause of early miscarriage. It was painful. But they still had frozen embryos in Taiwan, which to them meant that they still had a fighting chance. They went back a second time. No luck. They went back a third time, this time having dealt with Irene's newfound autoimmune disease.
So ano naman ang naging result ng third?
Negative pa rin.
Itong masakit, at the same time, lost ka na. Hindi mo na alam anong
Kasi ginawa na namin lahat eh.
Tagtanong na kami kay Dr. Lee. Doc, ano naging problem? Bakit ganun ang naging resulta? Ang sagot niya sa amin is, the embryo is okay, lining is okay, everything's okay. Maybe the timing.
It was a dilemma.
No.
They had serious doubts, but they also had a couple more viable embryos. In the end, they decided to give it another shot. And weren't they glad they did?
Ayan sila, oh.
Those magic words they've been longing to hear from their gynecologist finally came.
We're very happy. Hopefully next week, humabol si Heaven.
Eh pagkakita niya ng sack, iba na yung sinabi.
Iba siya.
Maganda to. Maganda siya. Ay, maganda to. Okay to. Magtutuloy to. Talaga, Diyos ko, hindi ko alam yung pakiramdam ko talaga. Asaya-saya ko.
Ayaw pa rin niya maniwala.
Pero ayaw pa rin maniwala.
Siguro ang sobrang alaga ninyo nung during the pregnancy, no? Oh my God. I can just imagine.
Sobra-sobra.
Yeah.
Yun lang, may roller coaster pa rin. No? Sinasabi ko nga, twins, diba? Yung isa, hindi na nag-develop.
That's okay, at least may isa
At
pa
least
rin.
may isa.
Yes, si Amari nga, nakasurvive.
Grabe, ilan embryo ko. Siya lang talaga nagwagi.
Lahat, siguro, naka-10 embryos kami lahat sa 4 IVFs. 10 embryos lahat. Isa lang talaga ang
Siya lang talaga nag-succeed. Talagang sa dami kong sakit, sa dami kong problema, pati siya. Parang ka-baby kami. Talagang miracle.
Funny, an IVF and other artificial means of conception for that matter are products of science. But when you try and fail as many times as Henry and Irene have, what modern medicine can provide becomes a miracle. That same miracle is now in the form of a baby bump the next time we saw Cherry and Marlon.
Okay lang mapatingin ng mga ano?
Oo. So, ito yung...
Ito yung baby, di ba?
Yan yung latest.
Ito yung latest.
Nakita na nila yung gender dyan eh.
Si Chacha, alam.
Tinatry naming i-explain sa kanya, pero parang hindi pa niya masyadong... Siguro pag nakita niya yung baby, doon lang niya marirealize na, ay, may baby pala tayo.
Pero gusto niyo talaga kasi magkakapatid siya, no?
Oo. Naghanap siya ng kalaro, tsaka yung makakausap.
Boy pa, yung likot ng boy, pwedeng-pwede sa kanya.
Cherry and Marlon say they can't wait to meet their miracle baby. Neither can I. And not just because I was witness to the ups and downs of their IVF journey, but because to a certain extent, I know how it is to be desperately waiting for a child. For 5 years, my wife and I tried getting pregnant with a second child. We almost sought help. Had this miracle of a baby not arrived by heaven's grace.
Whether or not couples were going to have children used to be purely a matter of destiny. That's changed with the advancement of science and technology. There's still no foolproof way of artificially conceiving a baby. But if you have the means and want to have children, then at least you have a fighting chance. For Assignment Asia, I'm Barnaby Lo. Share your thoughts and contribute story ideas for our future shows by contacting us on social media.